You drive through Forest Park in the midst of a summer evening, and in the stillness, suddenly, from somewhere over there among the trees, you hear a harmony of sounds, the welling measure of song, the song of our opera.
In November of 1915, 3 people were searching St. Louis's Forest Park for a place just like this. Nelson Cunliffe, Parks Commissioner, Livingston Platt, a set designer from New York, and leading the charge was actress and producer Margaret Anglin, a creative visionary of her time. They were looking for a spot to stage an outdoor production of Shakespeare's As You Like It, to commemorate the 300th anniversary of the playwright's death. They happened upon a patch of land between 2 mighty oaks and a receding hill that mimicked the theater. Anglin spoke a few words from the play, then her voice carried through the air with ease. She smiled, looking at the natural space around her. They had found the magic.
While the space had been found, Anglin and her team had a long way to go. Turning this grassy knoll into an outdoor theater was going to be a next to impossible undertaking. But Anglin believed that this endeavor was worth the effort. She told the park's commissioner, "You must go into a big venture with blind courage. If you stop to think of the difficulty along the way, your heart will fail you."
I would say that any act of creation, which is what all this is always an act of blind faith. You believe that your colleagues will provide and do. You believe that an audience will be there to receive it, and you have to have the courage to believe those two things are going to come together.
Finally, in the summer of 1916, lights went up on Margaret Anglin's production of As You Like It in Forest Park. The production was a resounding success. Nearly 40,000 people attended the 8 performances, and the New York Times called it brilliant. Anglin urged the city that a permanent stage be built for future generations of St. Louis.
It's certainly true now that the Muny is unique, but it was so much truer at its foundation. You know, that was, not only was it one of a few, it was the first, right? So at that moment, imagine a community building a theater this size, at this scale, to dream this big 105 years ago. It was one of one in the world.
The following year, work began to make this dream a reality.
We were finding a lot of the original history was still there, maybe painted over a couple of times, but the original concrete, when you see all of the old photos with the concrete being brought in by wagons, that was the original concrete that was out there. That concrete's actually still there.
And so, in following Margaret Anglin's blind courage, St. Louis built a permanent theater in Forest Park. In the summer of 1919, the Municipal Opera held its inaugural season. Robin Hood launched the summer, and music filled Forest Park every night for 6 weeks. On the final night of the season, Mayor Keel announced that it had been a howling success, and they planned to do it all again next year. Cheers filled the theater, and a heartfelt rendition of Auld Lang Syne punctuated the summer, beginning a 100-year-old tradition that audience members can still experience to this day.
Every single day, it's about blind courage. And the magic of it is that the audience feels it.
And so the Municipal Opera was born. From a single moment sprouted over 100 years of history. But the tests of blind courage were far from over. It would take more than magic to turn this seedling of a theater into a mighty oak.
They didn't know where they were going to get the money from to do these shows.